Welcome, friends. The reason you're here is because you said your number one issue is being able to drive leads and sales for your agency. And it's a catch-22 because if you don't have a growing, robust agency, it's hard to be able to generate more business. So today we're going to walk through this whole process here on how everything fits together. And if there's concepts that you don't know about, like why, how, and what, or you don't know about the Social Amplification Engine, or maybe how do you sell different packages, including how to do things like hire virtual assistants, don't worry about it. Some of these items you can do out of order, and some of them you can even skip. But what I want you to do today is to understand the overall framework for how your agency is going to drive sales with local businesses. Now, what we care about is this green here, the money. We want to drive the sales. And everyone who starts out, they think, well, I need to start marketing. I need to have a landing page. I need to have a website. I need to start telling people I have an offer. Or worse, I need to start working for free, because if I don't have any clients, I need to take whatever I can get, right? Or if I have 3 random clients, I'll take another 4th random client. And pretty soon, you're in a mess where you have 10 different random clients and you can't scale and you're working too hard, all these kinds of problems. And that's because when you start with the money and you don't have a clear package here of what you're offering, every one of the deals that you have becomes custom. And therefore it's not scalable. You have to negotiate every single one of them. People who come to you, they don't know what it is that you specialize in, so you have to re-explain what it is that you do. You get a lot of people who are not a fit for your particular niche because you're not clear on your X, Y, and Z. You're not clear on your lighthouse. You don't have a package that you can repeat over and over and over again. And so that catch-22 chicken and egg issue is, how do I get my first few clients so that in the process I can develop a lighthouse meaning the one example that I use to incept and get, the movie Inception, and then be able to get all the other clients that are like that. So let's think about how this works at the strategy level. You guys ready? Over here, we have the why. Remember we talked about the why and the how and the what, which is the same thing as top, middle, and bottom of the funnel, which is the same thing as know, like, and trust. The reason you're making these 15-second videos and 60-second videos and showing gratitude and showing moments in your life that have a larger story is that you want people to be able to connect with who you are as a person and the things that you believe in. For more on why, we have other courses that you can go through the exercises on how to say thank you, on how to show gratitude, on how to tell other people what you believe in, right, and extrapolate through. So if you don't have that, go to that lesson first. The why sequences into the how, because once they know who you are, it's the rule of reciprocity, or it's about proximity, where people that you go to school with or that you meet at the supermarket, you're more likely to do business with. You're more likely to marry them, or you're more likely to join a fraternity, right? So you're just trying to establish proximity with that audience that you want. In this case, chiropractors or dentists or whoever it is that you want to become your customer. So you're showing how you do something. And let's say that you take our Social Amplification Engine course, which shows in a 6-phase process, how do you set up plumbing and tracking? How do you set up goals? Do you know what your cost per lead is? Do you know how to do cross-channel marketing? Do you know how to build a 3x3 grid off of a content library? Do you know how to collect mentions? Do you know how to get more reviews? Do you know how to target and all the different ways that you can target keywords on Google? How do you target on YouTube? How do you target custom audiences? All kinds of different ways of targeting direct mail, targeting people who clicked in your email. You can teach a whole course around that. And the cool thing is that because we've already done it for real estate agents and mortgage brokers and chiropractors and nail salons and personal trainers, every vertical out there, you can literally take our course. You can take the entire Social Amplification Engine, put your logo and name and your image and your colors and your branding on it, and say, look, I've got a course that's proven, that has run through thousands of different businesses. I've got a certification. Of course, if you go through all the training, pass the quiz, do the exercises, then we'll give you a certification to say that you are qualified in being able to implement this. So you take this knowledge, you take what we've already created. It could be even the courses that we have, and you create your own 3-minute video version of this. You can turn it into an article. You can put it on your website. You can put it on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and all these other places, demonstrating that you have knowledge in each of these particular areas. Because when you show how you do something, and you're targeting, let's say, chiropractors, then pretty soon, some of these chiropractors, they may see one or two of your pieces of information. They may see some of your why content. They're going to realize, wow, this Jake Campoli guy, he's already done this for 3 or 4 chiropractors. He's pretty good. I'm a chiropractor. Before I was like, I don't know who this is, but now it's like, huh, this is probably somebody I need to pay attention to. So when you have that omnipresence and you're constantly sharing the why and the how, you're going to find people will come up to you and say, whether it's online or an instant messenger or Twitter, they'll say, man, I see your stuff everywhere. And the way you really know if you're successful is that they say, man, I'm like seeing too much of your stuff. That's how you know it's working, right? Because you know who your target is. So you're sharing your content, you're sharing your knowledge openly. And when you show people how to do something, then at some point they're going to come in, they're going to say, okay, man, I had no idea that there was this whole process of setting up Google Tag Manager, of editing videos, of hiring virtual assistants, of building websites, of making sure I'm able to rank inside Google, of being able to make sure I have retargeting, of all the different things. And they say, man, like all the stuff you've been teaching, can you just go ahead and do it for me? And then you say, why, sure, I have a package. And in fact, all the things that we've been teaching, they come out of our book. This is our training. This is our guide. Now imagine you have a book like this and it's got your name on it. It's got your diagrams. It's got your pictures. Imagine this is your face. Imagine that you're holding this and you're with me and we are teaching other personal injury attorneys or other local businesses in Kansas City or other people that need SEO done or whatever your particular category is, right? And you're showing, look, I have authority because I know what I'm doing. That's when people say, okay, I understand there's lots of these different steps. Can you go ahead and do it for me? And that's when they come in and they buy a package, okay? So the key thing you have to understand is in order to drive sales, you don't want to just get a random business to just give you money. You need to get the right client, and that means it's got to be defined by a package. A package and a course are the same thing. You see that? Because it's the same checklist like this, where if you want to do it yourself, you're providing them literally all the information that's proven. That's how you get around the chicken and the egg. It's something that's already proven on how you're going to do the work. And if they're one of these people that wants to waste your time and they're a tire kicker and they think your time's only worth $10 an hour or something like that, let them have it. Like, here it is. Here's our course. You can go through it. It's all right there on my website or on my YouTube or on my LinkedIn or in my ebook. By the way, you don't have to have a website. For some reason, agencies feel like they have to build a website. I didn't have a website for years and I still barely even have a website. All my content's somewhere else. It's on higher authority sites, like wherever you're seeing this. So when you put this stuff out here saying, look, I have a proven process on how this stuff gets done, and it wasn't invented by me. Last thing you want to do is get on an airplane where the pilot's like, oh yeah, I invented this new way to fly. No, you want something that's been done over and over again, right? Just like LASIK, you want something that's been done over and over again. And you say, look, this process I can implement reliably because it's something that's been done over and over again. And if you're a chiropractor in Dallas, it's going to work. If you're a chiropractor in Long Beach or Long Island or Lubbock, it doesn't really matter. Choose another city that begins with L. That's what you have to do. So the do-it-yourself is the parallel to the done for you, okay? But you might be saying, I don't have time to build all these courses and all this stuff. I don't have the money or the budget. It's just me. I can't be doing all these other things. I need to generate income right now because I got to pay rent. I have 2 little boys, whatever it might be. That's fine. What you do is you start over here and you say, okay, which of these packages can I implement? So in the case of our friend Jake Campoli, you should watch his example. He's been selling digital plumbing packages at $200. And what's in digital plumbing? He's got a 1-pager that lists exactly what it is as an overview. Digital plumbing is, I'm going to get all your tracking and analytics in place at a fundamental level. I'm going to set up your Google Tag Manager. And with that container, I'm going to include your Google AdWord, your Google Analytics, your Facebook ads, some of your UTM parameters, some of your Facebook custom audiences. So you have the ability to get analytics and measurement. Why is that important? Because if you're flying in the dark or with the blindfold, you won't know what's working and what's not working. And if you're running ads or if you're creating content or if you're engaging in any kind of campaign, you want to be able to tell what is winning and what's losing. Who's it for? Are you a chiropractor? Are you a real estate agent? Like, choose whatever your niche is, right? There's 3 kinds of niches, which we cover in another video. There's a niche by lighthouse, meaning the local service vertical, plumber, dentist, doctor, whatever, and it's nationwide, but you're choosing local service businesses. They differ only by geography. 2 is you're choosing a city. So all the people in your city, but it could be a mix of different kinds of businesses instead of that one kind of business. And 3 is a skill specialty. You do SEO, you do video editing, you do website building, you do SEO, whatever it is, right? But whatever vertical, whatever category you choose, make sure you're very clear on who this is for and you're saying it over and over again based on your XYZ, right? I help chiropractors drive more phone calls through step-by-step digital marketing. I drive search engine results for people who are, for people in Long Beach through my 7-step SEO process. I help X achieve Y through Z. And for any one of your packages, so with the example of digital plumbing, could be any package, you're showing what's the benefit, not the features, what's the benefit? Why would they be willing to spend money from a business standpoint? Who's it for, which is reflecting the X. What we do, so show the one-page checklist, the requirements, which is very important. In order for you to buy this package and be successful, I need goals, content, and targeting from you. I need you to be an existing business where you have positive reviews. And in other words, what are you not? What do you not do? I don't take startups. I don't take companies that don't take good care of their customers, because when we try to amplify that, it doesn't work. I don't take companies that are multilingual because I only speak English. I don't take companies that are where the owner's hard to work with. I don't take whatever it might be, gambling, casino, tobacco, nicotine, vaping, I don't know, whatever, medical marijuana, whatever it is that you do and don't do. Like, be very clear about that in terms of the requirements that you need. In the same way, a chef has a recipe. If you don't have those ingredients, then they can't cook the meal, right? I know I'm mixing analogies. I'm wearing a lab coat here. It says Dr. Dentist, but I'm not actually a doctor. I got a stethoscope. It actually works. It's a working stethoscope. And by the way, the reason why I'm wearing this lab coat is because I want you to think about yourself as a trained professional. You're certified, you're trained in digital marketing, you're going through all of these courses just like a dentist or a plumber or a doctor or the other people that you're serving. The people that you're serving as clients, they absolutely understand why it's important to have the diploma on the wall. They understand why it's important to be certified by the American Medical Association or whatever the American Pilots Association if you're a pilot. They understand this kind of thing. So they know that in order to sell, you have to have this kind of expertise, you have to have a repeatable process and a package, and some kind of certification that says that you can do a good job, and there's a body of knowledge and expertise that you stand behind. If you don't have this, you're not speaking their language. You follow me? Now, you could try to create this on your own. Good luck. It took me 23 years. Maybe you could do it in 15, but still going to take you a while. And plus, we have the backing of GoDaddy and Infusionsoft and Social Media Examiner and like all these other places, right? So might as well just leverage what we have. We'll help you create one of these things, like a book, turn it into PDF, turn it into videos, all this kind of stuff. But you're showing that you have a backing and a history behind you. So let's talk about how this works step by step. You have your why videos by now, and if you haven't, go back to that episode where we talk about how to do a series of different why videos and to be able to reply with video. Now you're going to do a bunch of how videos. And you might say, well, I don't know how to do digital plumbing or goals, content, targeting. I don't know how to do any of these things. That's okay. You don't have to. You just have to know enough to be able to talk comfortably from a business owner standpoint about how each of these different phases work. So come in and fill in these videos. And you can even follow the scripts that we already have, so you can start checking these boxes saying, yes, I've got my videos here, 3 minutes on each of these, loaded up into my YouTube library, loaded up into my content library, transcribed in the blog posts, turned into guides and articles. Then you can take the courses that we have and skin them yourself. If you're cheap about it, you could just take our templates and put in your name, put in your image, put in your contact details, put in all these other components, and show that, hey, based on my 3-minute description, which is just an overview of each of these 6 components, there's a course behind that whole thing. And you can go step by step and just white label the things that we have, or co-brand it, even better. And then the package. The course leads to the package. A lot of you guys are out here trying to sell packages, and if you don't have the course that precedes the package, what's going to happen is you're going to get with people on the phone. You're going to be giving out these 1-hour free strategy calls. You see how many people, they're consultants, and they say, hey, book a time with me on Calendly. I'll give you a free 15-minute call or a free hour call. Don't do that. You're just giving away free consulting. They're not qualified. They don't know who you are. You don't have any authority. It's not clear if they're going to pay. If you're in the world of sales, then you know something called BANT. Budget, authority, need, and timing. If any one of those things is not there, they're not going to buy. Budget, they've got to be able to afford you. Authority, they have to be the one. If it's a small business, they should have the authority to be able to spend the money. But larger companies, sometimes a chain, you need to go to the boss and then have another conversation with someone else. And then, if you're working with someone like Microsoft, like when we've done work with Microsoft or Nike, when I didn't know any better, I was like, oh, this is amazing. We're getting Nike as a client. And then 12 meetings later, I'm like, that $10,000 was not worth it. I've had to fly into Portland X number of times. We're already underwater. We've not even started the project, right? We're going through legal, right? Authority, right? Need, they have to have clear pain. If we run a emergency room and people are coming into the emergency room, that's clear need. That's inbound marketing. They came to us. If you're out there knocking on doors, and that's fine if you're doing cold calling and all that, you're talking to a lot of people who don't have clear need. And then timing, maybe they need it, but maybe not right now. Maybe they don't have the budget right now. You still need all of those. And if you use this model and you have a clear package, then you're more like an emergency room surgeon. You're more like a hospital where you're putting your content out here and then they're coming to us. One of my most popular articles is why surgeons don't go knocking on doors. They're busy in the emergency room. They're not going door to door. They're not saying, hey, I'd like to offer you heart surgery, half off if you buy by Friday. There's only 3 left. No, I don't think I want to go with that doctor to operate on me. I'm not really interested. So elevate yourself. That's why I'm wearing this white lab coat. I'm not really a doctor, but I want you to understand that when you come from a position of expertise, you don't have to sell yourself short. You don't have to discount. You don't have to do any of these kinds of things. Okay. Now, when you're teaching, some people are better at video. I'm not really a video person, but I have to demonstrate it just to show how it's done because they're just better at relationships. They're better on the phone and maybe they suck at writing. And some people are better at writing and they're not very good at video. It doesn't matter. They're interchangeable. It's the same information. Just like some people like to read books and other people like to watch the news people on TV, read the news to you. So you're going to make short videos. Why, how, and what videos. And then you're going to turn those into courses. A course is not something fancy. A course is just putting a few videos together. 5 episodes, that's a season, right? Put these 6 quick little videos together. Now you have a course on the Social Amplification Engine. Does it need to be a formal course with lots of lessons and a textbook and all that? No, it could be if you want. That's more authority. But literally you and your iPhone, that's all you really need. Then you can write articles based on your examples, based on your stories, or you can take our stuff and put your name in it. It's not plagiarism. That's what happens in school. When we give you permission, it's called partnership. And you make short little articles based on what you know. You can take your videos and transcribe them into text. 2 birds with 1 stone. Rev.com, fancy hands, all sorts of different, Otter.ai, many different ways to be able to turn videos into articles. And then you put those articles together and you have a book. And now you have a body of knowledge with your fingerprints all over it. That's how you generate tons and tons of this power. And then you stack it into your 3x3 grid. So when you have these 6 phases. And by the way, if you don't know in detail what each of these 6 phases are and why they're important and how these are sequential, I want you to go through our training on the 6-phase Social Amplification Engine. You should be able to talk about this forwards and backwards, to be able to explain to businesses why they have to start with digital plumbing, because otherwise they're blind and anything they do is going to be no good unless they have plumbing in place first. Their goals, content, and targeting, and why together, those are the individual building blocks of their strategy, right? People say strategy. I need a strategy, a digital strategy, a social media strategy. What the heck's a strategy? A strategy is the particular specific components of goals, content, and targeting, just like DNA, just like Lego blocks. Whatever your analogy is, we need these particular components. They come from the local business owner. You know why the local business owners fail? It's because they think it's technology, not realizing that content is the thing that you need. No matter how good you are at optimizing, no matter how many tools you have, without the content, especially lightweight video, it's not going to work. Right? Amplification. Clients will come in and they'll say, I need ads. I need Facebook ads. I need LinkedIn ads. I need emails. I need Google PPC. Those are all ads, right? We say amplification instead of advertising because the idea of amplifying is if you have something that's good, like you have happy customers, I want more. If they're launching something new, like they have a new book, they have a new procedure, that's not amplifying. Because you multiply a huge number by 0, that's not a good number. 0 times a million still is 0. So we want to amplify against a good number, against an existing business, against goals, content, and targeting that are already proven together, right? So if people come in and they want you to run ads, you can, but you say, I'd love to run ads for you. You never say no. You say, yes, I'd like to run ads for you. And to do that right, we need our plumbing in place, and then we need to collect the goals, content, and targeting. We need the measurement, we need the ingredients to be able to then put into the machine, which is amplification, and then to be able to tune it, which is optimization. Probably the worst clients that you could get are ones where they were burned by another agency, and now they're gonna come to you, and guess what they're gonna say about your agency? The same thing they said about their previous 3 agencies. You know I'm right, I've been there before. It's like I'm looking inside your mind. I talk to a lot of agency owners, and they're like, Dennis has been watching over my shoulder. He knows exactly what's going on in my agency. I'm like, yeah, I know. I've been doing this for 23 years. It's like Groundhog Day for me every day. I wanna see you win with your agency. So they want you to optimize. Well, you could sell a power hour for $500 or $1,000, but that's a one-time shot of money. It's not repeatable. It's dependent upon your expertise, so it's not scalable very easily, and it's subject to all kinds of random factors. Later, they could be not happy, or there could be things that are outside of your control that doesn't deliver the sales. It's risky. You can do optimization, but I recommend that you run through the first 5 phases first, because I've done hundreds, if not thousands of audits. I do a couple every day. I love looking at people's campaigns. It's fun. I don't know, maybe it's sick, I enjoy it. But whenever I do analysis and optimization. These are companies that pay a lot of money, and some of these are big companies too, where they think they're pro. You want to know where the problems are? It's always somewhere here in plumbing, goals, content, and targeting. It is not in the ads itself. It's not in the Google and Facebook ads. It's not in the landing pages even. It's always over here in goals, content, and targeting. So just know that the problems are always over here. If the client tries to define it as one of these, run, because they're not going to appreciate what you're doing. It's like someone who's saying, hey, can you come and clean my house for, or whatever, for $200? Like, okay, how big's your house? Versus build your house. I'm not gonna build your house for $200, but maybe if I run a maid service, I'll clean your house for $200. So there's a difference between, building the thing and coming in and tuning it and maintaining it, okay? So when you put this out here, this is how you're able to frame your business, your agency, so that you have a clear structure. You say, this is what we do, this is how we do it. We're like Chick-fil-A, we make chicken sandwiches, there's no hamburgers. You don't get pizza at Chick-fil-A or whatever your favorite place is. They focus on that one thing they do. They have a clear menu. You should have a clear menu. And you even say, by the way, this is how you use reverse psychology to close the deal. You say, everything that we do is governed by a process, and in fact, we won't do anything that's not governed by a process. So that way, we're not gonna say yes to something that is not in our area of expertise. In fact, if it's not our thing, we'll say, look, we're not gonna say yes to it because that's just not ethical. But we can refer you to other people. And when you say that, the reverse psychology kicks in, and the clients are like, oh wow, that means of the things that they say yes to, they actually can do. Versus what you typically see happen with digital marketing agencies is the client says, can you do video? Yes. Can you do SEO? Yes, I can do that. Can you also clean my car? Yes. And they say yes to everything. Now you don't trust anything they have to say because they say they can do everything, right? You know what I'm talking about? Do you ever feel like you're in that, be honest, or have you ever in that situation where you feel like you're trying to say yes to everything because you want to please the client, because you really need the deal, because you need the money? Can you imagine the doctor? You're going to the doctor and you have this crazy brain surgery you need done, like a tumor or something, let's just pretend. And the doctor's so like, yes, I can do that. And I really need you to buy the surgery like right now. Would you really feel comfortable with like, no, you feel like there's a conflict of interest, right? Because they're trying too hard. So you never want to seem like you're trying too hard, even if you are kind of on the edge and things aren't going as well as you. I'm not saying fake it, but just when you use a clear process, that actually puts authority behind you. Okay, now we know that courses are how we sell packages, and they're the same thing. Do it yourself is the same thing as done for you. In order to sell done for you, you have to demonstrate that there's a way they could do it themselves. That way, no matter what you charge for the done for you, and in fact, whatever you're charging, you should probably double your prices. That's the most common advice that I give digital marketing consultants. They're normally afraid of it and they're like, oh, I'm gonna lose all these clients. You'll lose a few clients, but you'll end up making a lot more money, and then the people that didn't really value you, they're gonna leave. It's gonna be a real test. So if your clients are really happy, you can double your prices. Oh, no, I can't do that. Yeah, you can. You'll double your revenue and you'll lose 20%, maybe 30% of your clients. I did this with Jeff Hunter 2 years ago, right? He had several hundred clients and he was super cheap because he had all these VAs in the Philippines, and we've got a lot of folks in the Philippines too. And I said, you need to double your prices because you've represented yourself as hiring a bunch of people like $3, $4, $5 an hour. So of course people are gonna buy because they're buying because of price. Double your prices. You're charging based on results, not based on the fact that you're cheaper, right? Because someone who takes twice as many hours, a doctor or surgeon who takes twice as many hours to get something done, do you think they're twice as good? Would you want to be on that operating table 20 hours instead of just like an hour and a half for a routine procedure? You don't want to pay by the hour. You don't want to charge by the hour. You don't want to represent your work as being done by the hour. You want to represent it being done by a result, which is a package. So let's talk about packages. X, Y, and Z. That's the model. You're going to make a video. By the way, anything here in black, you're going to make a video about. X, Y, and Z. I help X achieve Y through Z. So if I'm Jake Campoli, I'll say, I help local service businesses get their digital plumbing in place through my digital plumbing package, right? I help chiropractors be able to get visibility in their digital marketing to solve wasted money and increase profits through my particular 6-phase process, right? There's many ways of saying X, Y, and Z. I help X achieve Y through Z. If you don't know X, Y, Z, go to the module on X, Y, and Z, press pause here, and then come back. Next, for your package, there are these 6 components. And you're gonna make one long video that goes through these 6 different pieces. Or if you're not very good on video, then just make 6 little videos that you can then chop up and turn into landing pages and whatnot. If you have experience, you could just do a one take and talk about, first, what's the business benefit of that particular package? In this case, we're talking about digital plumbing, but it could easily be targeting, it could be video creation, it could be Facebook ads, it could be like whatever it is that you offer. Take any of these things that we have that's a checklist and say, when you implement this checklist, this is what's going to happen from a business standpoint. I'm going to get more people searching for me on Google, or I'm going to get more reviews, which then creates word of mouth, or I'm going to get more conversions because my website's loading faster, right? You know, feature versus benefit. The feature is that my website load time goes from 8 seconds down to 3 seconds. That's great. But the benefit is because it loads faster, I'm losing fewer customers. I'm getting more conversions, right? Who's it for? Be very clear of what your lighthouse is so you don't try to say yes to everything. So be very clear about who you're not. Then, what do? This is where you brandish your checklist. We do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Print it out. Link it back here to your course, and you can never be too explicit about what you're doing. Turn to that particular checklist and show people how you get it done. Show people what are the particular items. Like our favorite is showing the 6-phase social amplification engine, right? These 6 phases. And we can figure out what was done and what was not done. That way they have complete clarity on how we're doing stuff. For example, I just turned to one random page in here. We're looking at the plumbing here, right? So here, if we're optimizing for their plumbing, we want to make sure we have access to all their accounts and validate that we have this access and everything is working here. Make sure we have events that are fine in Google and Facebook. What's the event? Well, it's the goal. Remember goals, content, and targeting? It's a call, it's a conversion, it's someone filling out a form, it's someone coming into the store, it's a point of sale, whatever it is, right? I got to track these events. That's my plumbing across these other channels. Define URL parameters. If I'm running things like email or different kinds of landing page specials, that kind of stuff, I'm going to set up these different reports and the different sources. I'm going to track it all the way through the ad system so that I know that my data is in place. Because if my Google and my Facebook and my email and my point of sale are all showing different numbers, how do I know who to trust, right? So go back to the one-pagers so people understand that what you're doing is step by step and you're not making it up. You're setting expectations. So we are making these videos in advance of them buying because we don't want to get on the phone and spend an hour explaining how we do all this stuff. That's a huge waste of time. How many times have you done that? You're watching this, the odds are you've done it many times. And you're going to continue to do it many times and waste tons of time unless you pre-make this and have a package. When you have that package, people are going to pay you before you ever talk to them. Isn't that really cool? So don't just hop on the phone and give them an hour of your time. That's the biggest mistake because you've lost the leverage, you've lost the credibility, you then allow things to wander all over the place, then you're re-explaining the same things over and over again, then you get yourself into trouble because they put you in a situation where they're trying to ask for stuff that you don't do. Pre-make all these videos. Requirements, the necessary ingredients, the goals, content, and targeting. The process, this is how it works. Reiterate, we're going through this process 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the call to action. Contact me, I'm Jake Campoli. I will help you get your digital plumbing in place. Here's my phone number. Here's a button to click on. Contact me on Snapchat, on Homing Pigeon, whatever it is. Contact me and pay me. This is my price, $200. And as of this filming, it is, but maybe by the time you see this, the price is $500. I think $200 is pretty cheap for this package. I charge $5,000. So wouldn't you rather hire Jake for that? I think so. But by the time he's up at $500, then maybe you'd want to hire one of the people that he's trained up, right? Still the same process. Anybody should be able to follow the directions. This is a special thing, the digital audit. So the digital audit, which you can call a snapshot report, you can call a quick report, or we call it a quick audit. Other people call it a dashboard, or they call it a scorecard. Some people can call it like collecting the vitals, a X-ray. Like there's all these different, you can choose the word you want for that thing. It's, hey, there's this whole system. How would you like an expert, someone who's trained in this process to audit these different things? And let's just say we sell this at $97. What is that worth to you? $97 to tap into 20 years of experience. I'll come and look at all the stuff and I'll figure out, you know, of all the things that are going on in your business, I think you've got a problem with the way you're doing targeting. And here's a problem that you have in your digital plumbing because you don't have your remarketing set up properly. Oh, and your content is goofed up because you're not creating square and 1 minute videos, or you're missing an opportunity on Instagram and LinkedIn, or your landing pages, there's something wrong with them, they don't work in mobile, or we can come in and look at your ad account and we can see some basic things that we see are broken. It's the same thing every time. How would you like for me to come in and do an audit? And what's that worth? Is it $97? Maybe it's $297. Right? It just depends on what you're including. You can have a very basic audit. So in the case of this basic audit, and you're using our tools, there's something called a Snapshot report, which has 6 different areas. We're looking for local businesses. We're looking at your listings, your reputation management, your SEO, your website, your PPC, and your social media. That's all 6 of them, right? And so when you have a scorecard, snapshot, whatever you want to call it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we can then grade them and we can say, this one you got a B, this has got a C+, this you got a D, this one you got an A-, B, and a B+. We can say, you know, this is pretty good, but this is not, this is where we need you to buy this particular package. And for this one here, you should buy this particular package. So if here, you need to buy this, you need to buy this, and this one is $97 a month, and this one is a one-time fee. Let's say it's building a website. Maybe it's $500, plus $20 a month or something like that, right? When you use the stethoscope, when you have a clear system, what you're saying is, look, I'm gonna look across all your data, and then I'm going to figure out which of these things are broken, and then I'm gonna surface these things to you in a report card. And based on this report card, we're gonna make a specific recommendation on what makes the most sense for your business. Now, someone else's business, it might be that they're doing well over here, right? But maybe these two things are broken. In that case, they need to buy this and they need to buy this. Everyone understands the idea, especially if you're working with professional service firms that are selling through relationship. Dentists, chiropractors, mortgage brokers, real estate agents, they are all selling, because there's hundreds that do the exact same thing, but they're selling based on relational expertise, and that's what you're doing too as well. So when you sell through their model, this is how they started their business, this is how they operate. The idea of a lab coat, because you're a pro, you're not trying to hackle down the price with a chiropractor. What kind of chiropractor does that? You don't see a chiropractor acting like a used car salesperson. The used car salesperson is selling a product. We're not selling products, we're selling services, and we're selling technically productized services. So when you sell that snapshot report, which is an audit, you dress it up as an audit because you say, look, we're gonna prepare this whole report and it includes all these different things, and then you come in and you make your video on each of these, you make a 1-minute video against every one of these components, just like here, right? Whatever product you have, package you have, you're gonna make a little video against every one of these items. You've pre-made it so you never need to explain what you do and why you do it and how it works ever again. Think about how much time that's going to save you not having to do that over and over again. And you want to know the best part, which is kind of like our dirty little secret, this snapshot report. If you are in the Vendasta platform, the system generates this automatically. And I think it's free too. Or like they give you a certain number, like 5 per free, or free per month, or like 10 free per month. And if you end up having to pay, I think it's like $2. So imagine like you put in the name, address, and phone number of a particular business. Press the button, it generates a snapshot report immediately, but then over 24 hours, it's like collecting data, like mentions and reviews and stuff like that. The machine is running and gathering data, and it does all this work for you. It puts your name on it, then it will send it out in your name with your logo up here as Jake Campoli International, right? Sends it out as you. Then all you have to do is walk them through this snapshot report and charge them whatever, $297, $197, whatever it is. What's going on here, even if it's $47, like whatever, it doesn't matter that much what this price is. The reason why is that from this report card of the things that are broken, that's going to then drive other packages that they're going to buy. Because from here, we're going to point out that something's wrong with their website, or they need to have some videos, or they need to run Facebook ads, or they need to get their name and their listings done properly, because in Google Maps, it's showing that you're in the other part of the shopping center because you didn't have the exact lat-long geo address, right? Or just all kinds of things. So we always find things wrong with the business in a snapshot report. So you're guaranteed, as long as you know how to talk about these different components, then you're going to close that client because they're already in the mindset of here's a framework that results in a report that results in some kind of action. So we call this metrics analysis action. That's the same thing as collecting the vitals, the blood and the x-ray and all this. The diagnosis, well, based on this, it looks like you have a broken arm, or looking at the blood, it looks like you have cancer, whatever it might be, to the treatment. Therefore, we need to do these particular things. So we call that metrics, analysis, action, collecting the vitals, performing a diagnosis, recommending a treatment plan. So in the emergency room, how many salespeople are there? Let me ask you. There's none, or they're all salespeople, depending on how you look at it. But the doctors are not salespeople. They're going through metrics, analysis, action, and that's how you're able to close business without having to make it based on a sale or a used car thing or a special. There's only 3 left, you have to buy by Friday. You don't ever have to do any of that kind of stuff because that stinks like advertising. You don't want to behave like that, and you don't want to have to lower your price. You're not selling 12 packs of Coke for $2.99 and people are waiting at Kroger for it to go on sale, right? You are selling a professional service and you're offering it to professional service people, and you're going to charge a professional service price. How would you like to go to a chiropractor that says, it's just $59 a visit? This is not, Walmart or whatever. I want a professional, right? So let's say either from the snapshot report where you film these different components already and you know how to operate this, or you have filmed your little videos explaining the different steps inside your package and what it is and who it's for and what it like these 6 things, then what are you going to do with these assets? You need to stick them where people can see them. And I can't tell you how often people screw this up. I see some people that will go this far and they'll make their YouTube videos, get all excited one day and they're like, okay, I'm going to crank out the videos like Dennis said, and they do it and they stick it on a landing page, and that landing page gets no traffic. Why? Because they spent all the effort trying to make a beautiful website. What's the sound of one digital marketing consultant in the forest, falling in the forest, right? You can't hear it because there's no traffic. So you have to take that and put it on a landing page. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. A simple free WordPress website will do it. You're going to post it to your Facebook page and maybe your profile too. Your public figure page. Learn about that. It's another episode. You're going to post on LinkedIn. Maybe you'll come in, you'll boost it too for $1 a day. If you haven't studied $1 a day, that's another course. It's probably our most popular course. How do you spend $1 a day to make sure that your content's being seen against the target that you have? I help X achieve Y through Z, right? Y is the benefit. X is your target. Z is all the training that you have. Everything fits together. X, Y, Z is also the elevator pitch. It's your summary of who you are. So you put all the content out here, you're amplifying it, and something magical happens. When you follow this process of you teach what you do first and you just give it away transparently, even if you're giving away our stuff, which is kind of amazing. It's like an Indian giver, like we give you something and then you give it to them. That's okay by us, right? Because we want to see you win. You put all this training, which you've helped customize and put your name and face on them, and ideally you go through the training so you understand it. You're not just an actor. You turn it into a package. Now you're selling snapshot reports. Now you're selling these different packages. Could be digital plumbing, could be video editing. And by the way, if you don't like digital plumbing, I just use this as an example, then you can sell Facebook ads and have someone like Jake implement your digital plumbing. That's totally fine. You don't have to know how to implement every one of these stages. In fact, if you do, I want to hire you because these people don't even exist. I don't know many people that can do all of them. Who can do all of these? Nobody. It's basically like there's 2 kinds of people. There's people who pee in the shower and people who lie about it. So you can't do all these different things. So pick the ones you can, and that you would think that by limiting what you do, you'd reduce the amount of business you could generate, but it's actually better. You actually generate more. Like you think like the more you open it up, the more you say you offer, the more business you get. It doesn't work like that. You should really focus on whoever that X is. I help X achieve Y through Z. So when you put this out here, people will start to buy. They'll start to buy these audits. And by the way, if you're not getting these sales and something else isn't working, then let me know like what it is. It might be because your presentation skills quite aren't. By the way, you don't have to be a professional presenter. It might be because you got something wrong here in how you're describing this, or maybe your XYZ is wrong. Like I can help you figure this out. But this model will help you drive more sales on an ongoing basis. When you have these items already in place, remember you've already pre-sold, you've already shared your knowledge. You don't have to get on the phone over and over again. It becomes easy because we will give you, if you're certified, we will give you clients. We will give you the chiropractors and dentists and real estate agents. They are dying for this. And if you're selling stuff at say like $200 for each of these packages times 6 phases, then you're looking at a package price of $1,200. And then maybe that's an ongoing of $500 a month ongoing. If you have 10 of them that are $500 a month, you're looking at $5,000 of income to you per month, which is $60K per year, right? That's not too bad. And then once you have 1 of them, you can get 10 of them, you can have 100 of them. Well, you got to scale it up once you get to 100 of them. But all you've got to do is you got to demonstrate that you have 1 of them that you've done this successfully for. And now you've got a reference client. Businesses talk. They love telling everyone else how they want you to succeed. And by the way, at this point, this is where people say, but I don't really, have the expertise. I feel like I'm an imposter, that I don't know enough. Well, here's the beauty. When you sell this package, and I don't want to use the word sell necessarily, because then it sounds like you're just a salesperson and you don't have the expertise. Some people call this consultative selling. When you sell this particular package, you can actually outsource all the execution of it. So let's talk about what that means when you're outsourcing the execution. So when someone buys, at that moment they buy, which requires a lot of trust because they're like, I'm going to give this person some money. I wonder if they're going to screw me over. I wonder if they're going to come through. I wonder if they're just going to leave and I'm never going to hear from them again, right? That's what people are thinking, kind of in the back of their mind, even if it was a referral, even if they're a friend of yours, even if like in the back of their mind, like, well, what if it doesn't work? Like I'm giving them $1,000 and it might just be like pissing away money. It looks like they have a legitimate process, but I don't really know if it really is going to work or not. So you have to overcome that and you do it through communication. So the minute they buy, hi, you have a pre-made video. By the way, all the videos here are pre-made videos. And it says, hi, Jake Campoli again. Thank you so much for buying my digital plumbing package. Let me tell you a little bit about me before we get started. You know, I am a senior at ASU, where I've just graduated, and I've done marketing. I've worked with BlitzMetrics for the last 4 years as a partner, and I'm so excited that you bought this particular package. And what's going to be included is this whole thing here. Here's our checklist, right? And this is what you can expect. And so what you're doing is you're preempting questions they have. You are setting expectations in advance so they don't keep calling you like some nightmare client wondering what's going on. You've already preset those expectations by telling them, hey, everything's good. I just wanted to welcome you and tell you that we have this whole process. And the next thing you're going to hear from me is we're going to collect your goals, content, and targeting, and we're going to go through your access checklist. So be on the lookout for that next email that's going to come from me. Now, if you have to send those emails out manually, then send them out manually. If you have to send people out to a Google Sheet to fill it out because you don't have a marketing automation system, that's fine. Then the access checklist. Oh, hi, Jake again. So the next step in our process is I need to get access. So to your Google Analytics, to your Facebook ads account, to your CRM, to wherever you're driving the sales, to your YouTube, to your LinkedIn, whatever it is that we're going to be working on together. Because once I have access, then I'm going to be able to start to tune your different assets, or I'm going to be able to run your ads, or I'm going to be able to edit your videos. Right? If you're editing videos, you need to go through an access checklist. There's always an access checklist where the client has to give you access to their stuff. And then the next one, oh, hi, next step in our process is it's time to collect your goals, content, and targeting. What does that mean? That is your strategy. That's the building blocks of your business. So not every chiropractor has the same goals. Some chiropractors want to add 5 new patients a month. Other chiropractors, they want to be better known in their community. Other dentists, they want to publish a book. Other ones, they want to service a particular type of customer, or their specialty is something else. So everyone's got a particular mix of goals, content, and targeting. That's unique to that client. You must ask for it explicitly. If you don't, then you might end up doing what you think's a good job, and then you end up failing because you didn't listen or you didn't ask in advance for their goals, content, and targeting. Now, don't make the mistake of thinking that just because we have this process that you don't have creativity, or that everyone's getting the exact same cookie cutter, mindless kind of execution. There's absolutely expertise when you have a pilot or when you have a heart surgeon, but they are following a process. So the process for all of us serving local business is the same. The framework is the same, but the ingredients that run through it are different. So another analogy would be that the kitchen has got the knives and utensils and fridges and ovens and all these kinds of things, but the special combination of ingredients that we use to cook a particular meal, that'll be different. But we can still use the same recipes, and we want to be able to operate off of the recipes, but we need the ingredients. We need the goals, content, and targeting from them. That starts with the plumbing first, so we can track everything. Goals, content, and targeting, which is their strategy. The ingredients they have to give us. Be very clear that we're collecting that from them. We may edit it, we may assist them, we may coach them on it, but this has got to come from them. Their customer reviews, their explanation of their services, their happy patients, the employees when they're talking about what it's like working at that company in the office, right? Then we can amplify and optimize. So we're doing 1, 5, and 6. They have 2, 3, and 4. Set that expectation. Don't pretend that you're a full service agency, because when you start getting into things that are purely creative, then it's very hard to measure the results, and then your digital plumbing falls apart. So make sure plumbing, optimization, those are either ends of the spectrum. Optimization goes back to plumbing, right? Plumbing sets the targeting in pixels so that you can then run remarketing, be able to amplify like these, understand how all 6 phases fit together. Okay, so now that you have your assets that are driving sales and you've driven a few sales, you're then able to come in and put more money against these existing assets. The beauty of these assets is that once they're working, you can keep putting more money. You don't have to keep making these assets over and over again. Now you could, if you wanted to, make a better version of your optimization course, or make a better version of things that you do for veterinarians. Or maybe you don't like how you talk, and when you first got started, let's say you're servicing dentists, you did the best you could, but now you've got examples because you've got several dentists that you've done this for. Certainly you can come in and remake some of these things. Maybe you have a better video studio, you have better equipment, you have like good lighting and things like this. You want to remake those because, oh man, those first videos I made, those were awful. Right? I can't believe that that's how you, well, that's what happens when you start, right? But the key is you had to get started. So now you got this thing working. Now what? Now you keep tuning this. Okay, so let's go back. So the thank you, welcome, right when people buy, the access checklist, goals, content, and targeting, the kickoff meeting, which is optional. It's kind of nice just to have like a 5-minute meeting, even though technically you can say, look, I have your goals, content, and target in the access, and I have everything I need to be able to implement this particular package. But just to talk to them for 5 minutes on Zoom and say, and by the way, in Zoom, check the option that says always record the call, just automatically, and say, hey, I just wanted to ask you, Dr. Barbara, you know, how things are going with you so far. And then that's an opportunity for them to say, oh man, thank you so much, Jake. Wow, I love how fast you were and you came in and checked on me, and you know, the process has been so smooth, and so glad that you threw in Twitter and the other pieces too, like whatever it might be, right? Just a quick little call, mainly just to say hello. Send a midpoint report. So if you say that this package is 6 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks in, send the midpoint report. Just letting them know, hey, I just want to let you know where things are going well. I was just checking in to let you know that you'll probably get the final deliverable if everything's going well in 2 or 3 weeks, and then send the final report. By the way, here when you do a midpoint status and a final report, the most common mistake is that people will put together this big report that the client never reads, so you wasted all this time. Instead, what you do is put together a few bullet points and a few screenshots, and you make the real value is you make a 1-minute video on your phone saying, Dr. Barbara, just want to let you know everything's going well. We're nearly done with your plumbing. You'll expect to hear from me in a couple weeks, and we'll go through the checklist to show all the things that we've done together, right? That's it. That's all they need to do is hear that from you. They're not going to understand all the reports and charts. You don't even understand what those charts are either. Neither do I, right? And then at final delivery, you typically want this to actually be a meeting. The midpoint or kickoff is an optional meeting, but this one you typically want you want to talk to them live, because you could say, look, I've got this one pager that's done, right? I've demonstrated, I've got all these different things that were done, just like we said here in the original package here. This is what we're going to do, right? I'm referring back to that same checklist for consistency. Then what happens? 2 things. One is they say, wow, this is so good. Man, I'm so glad I worked with you. It was so easy. You're very clear on what the process was. They've just given you a testimonial, especially if you have that Zoom that's on all the time. Number 2, you know what they're going to say? Great. Now what's next? Can we make some videos together? Can we now do LinkedIn ads? Can we now do one of these other things? And so you'll always be doing the next thing. The beauty is that there's never actually a final meeting. You know this, right? There's always something next. With any action, there's always a next action. And as you start to get more clients, as each of the existing clients starts to spend more money with you, you're going to find pretty soon that you can't keep up with all the work. Now, maybe that's not where you are right now. Maybe your situation is, look, I just need to get more business. I'm trying to grow. Whatever Dennis is talking about, I just don't see myself getting there really anytime soon. You'd be surprised at how fast this thing can snowball. We got tons of great examples of other folks who have gone through our system, whether they're 16 years old or 60 years old, it works for them. Now, the beauty is that this is the part you want to listen to carefully, because most people get this part wrong. Let's say that you come to me and say, well, Dennis, I'm really good at the relationships, and I'm not really good at the plumbing and the ads, and I'd just rather have someone else do that. And that way I can focus on the relationships and the people I know and my network and the neighborhood and all that. You can, if you understand that you're still owning the beginning and the end. You're still owning the explanation of the products and services and pre-making these videos and explaining what's in the package. In the same way that a waiter in the restaurant can talk about what's on the menu, but the waiter's not cooking the food in the kitchen, right? The cooks are. So when you explain to them, look, we need to get this access, we need to collect your goals, content, and targeting, here's our checklist. These assets go over here to be done by somebody else. They can be done by the tool. They can be done by the marketplace, or people on Fiverr, or people on Upwork. There's marketplaces of people. Kind of like, you know, Uber is a marketplace of people who will drive you. You just click the thing and the marketplace activates. There's marketplaces for marketing service. And there's also virtual assistants. You can hire them on onlinejobs.ph, Fancy Hands, Upwork, so many different places. Fiverr. Yeah, Fancy Hands if you're in the United States. There's lots of places you can hire people to get the stuff done. And sometimes you're going to have internal staff, people that work in your office, people that, because they're internal, they can do certain things that you can't do just by assigning stuff to Fiverr or assigning stuff to like some random person that's a freelancer, right? The beauty is that you can take all the guts of the things that you don't like to do. Like maybe you don't like to do ads, you don't like to do reports, you don't like to do pixels and plumbing. That's fine. Just outsource these other components. Likewise, if you're afraid to be in front of the camera, or you don't like to talk to clients because you're more of like an introvert and you're good with like math and WordPress and programming, or maybe you're a virtual assistant in the Philippines and you just want to do this thing because you're really good at this thing and you've done it for many years, that's great. You can then do this and other people can do this. So no matter what it is, there's some components that you're good at that you want to do, and there's some things that you don't want to do. Just try to balance that out, and that's how you're able to go from being a one-man show to being an agency. And when you do that, you're able to put together the full range of things that you need to get done. And now you're able to operate as a full agency. And the more successful you are at following a process, as you're documenting it, as you're having these quick little meetings along the way to be able to get feedback, which is creating accolades in marketing for you, creating word of mouth, you're going to find that you'll be able to reinvest here into creating better and better assets that drive more and more inbound demand to you, that then allow you to hire more and more people. So now you're working on your business instead of working in your business. And imagine, if you're not there yet, imagine with me now What does that feel like? Imagine where this machine is working and your agency is able to run, and you go on vacation for a month and everything is still able to run because you have operations people in place, because you have other people that are doing different parts of the process, because you have clients that are getting their reports every week, every month. You have happy customers that are referring other customers. You have content that you've pre-made that explains all the products and services that you do. And the system is just working and you're not having to reinvent yourself. You're not having to do 20 different random potential calls with potential clients every week, just wasting your time. Imagine what it's like not to waste your time, not to do things that are repetitive. This is a system that we are giving to you. I'm Dennis Yu, CEO of BlitzMetrics. I'm very excited that you're here, and I want to hear your progress along the way. If you are brand new to digital marketing and this is overwhelming, what's the answer to how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And if you're in that situation where you just need to generate sales yesterday, what I want you to do is start here and work your way back. So the package is how you make money. Start by creating some content around what's in the package that you offer. I would offer the starting point being the digital audit. Hey, I'll audit your business. I'll look at these 6 different factors: your local, your social, your SEO, your website, your listings, right? I will look at all these things. Here's our proven process. And if you don't have many clients, just drop this price to something nominal like $7, right? Don't make it 0. I don't like 0 because 0 implies that you're just a salesperson. 0 implies like, there must be a catch. I don't know if this guy's really gonna do a good job. It must be like some sort of, automated report or something, which it is. Charge something and watch what happens. Learn from the first 3 or 4 of these that you go through. Learn how to talk about the snapshot report. Don't worry about the website. Don't worry about a personal brand. Don't worry about creating lots of these different videos. Don't worry about trying to create a book. Don't worry about hiring all these other people. Focus on yourself being an expert at this digital audit. Choose a few friends or a few people in a vertical. Let's say you're going after dentists and you don't have any experience in dentists. Like make a post on LinkedIn or Facebook saying, I want to become one of the best digital marketing experts for dentists to be able to help them drive leads. Is there anyone you know that I could talk to interview them, to ask them about that? And then when you talk to them, you don't represent that you don't have a client or that you do and that you're a pro. Like that would be lying, right? You actually need to get to the point where you have one happy referenceable client. So with that first one, you just say, hey, look, I'm looking for my first client. I'm working really hard. I'm going through all this different training here, and I know that everyone else is charging $397 for this audit, and for you, I want to work really hard and turn you into like a great reference client. Is it possible that I could just do this for like $19 for you? Like, don't make it 0. Make it some number that's like super low they can't say no to. $20, $97, right? And then document what you're doing along the way, and then once you have that first client, all you need is one great reference client that you can get 10 more of the same thing. So that's how you overcome the chicken and the egg. This is how you overcome the biggest issue that people have, which is how do you drive sales for your digital agency? Once you're driving those sales, then you're gonna find the real issue is not how do I get more clients? It's how do I retain clients? How do I make them happy? Because it's so much better to retain clients. If you find that your issue is you need to keep getting more clients, your issue is actually retention. You're not keeping your clients. You're not making them happy. The average churn rate in local digital marketing is 3 months. That means the clients fire you on average after 90 days. It's not because of the market, it's because of the lack of expertise driving provable results. The odds are you could be driving results, but you're not putting in the digital plumbing to prove it. How ridiculous is that? It's like hitting a home run in the dark and you don't even know it. Learn this process. Learn to systematize your business. Learn to operate more like a doctor than a used car salesperson, and you're gonna find the world of local online marketing for local service businesses is going to be fantastic. I can't wait to join you on the journey. I'll see you in the next module.